So my great grandfather, he was astrologer to the king of Jaipur, and he had written some 200 books in his lifetime. So as a child, I would see scholars coming to our house. There were discussions held on his work.
If you tell somebody negative,
Yeah,
he'll just go find another one till he
correct,
finds a positive.
correct.
So, do you actually mellow the negative readings down and inflate the positive readings so that you do
Yeah.
not hurt the emotions
Yeah,
of the person who's sitting in front?
correct.
Or you just go straight up that, okay, this is what I think,
Yeah.
this is what I have read, and this is what I understand.
And as far as Raj Yoga is concerned, let me tell you one thing. There are more than 300 types of Raj Yogas which are mentioned in the classical texts of astrology. Right? The term Raj Yoga sounds very, gives you a very nice picture of Raj
it's
Yoga,
like-
means you are the king.
It's
You're,
like Fakir se Raja.
exactly. Yeah, that you are, blessed with all jewels and you are the king of something. No, it doesn't necessarily always mean so.
So all of these stones, do they really work, or is
Okay.
just a marketing gimmick and just a jewels business basically?
Okay, so see, this is my favorite topic and I really love to talk about this. A lot of people might not like this.
Welcome back to Life Unscripted, where we unravel the lives of great individuals who have lived their life one day at a time and built something tangible. We always have people from business, from sports, from different sections of life. So today we are diversifying even more. So today I have with me Riddhi Behel, a person from Delhi who just loves doing what she does. A person who has been in the corporate world, then moved into the science of Vastu as a Vastu consultant and as an astrologist. She has helped countless people, not because she wanted to make money, but because she found a need. She started doing it for family and friends, and that turned into something as a profession. So basically, something which she liked to do turned into a profession, and I believe that's what is her strength. So let's dig deep and get to know more about what she does, how she does, and how has she made this for her and for her family. Thank you so much, Riddhi, for joining with us today.
Thank you so much, Sharad, for having me also.
I hope that you did not have a lot of pain finding the location to the shoot, though.
Well, no, not exactly.
So let's begin. First things first.
Yeah.
As I understand that your family was never completely into Vastu, or like they did not practice it as a art
Correct. Yes.
or as a form of talent, basically.
Yeah.
So how did you get this inspiration to go into Vastu and astrology in the first place? Because as I believe that you have an MBA, you also work
Yes.
in the corporate culture.
Correct.
And usually in the blingy situation of the world today, people tend to find either better jobs, more
Yeah.
stable jobs,
Yeah.
or they want to migrate into something which is more flashy, more
Yeah.
entertainment oriented.
Yeah.
You picked a position where you can actually improve lives,
Yeah.
but at the same time, there will always be some who will call it bonkers, like this
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything.
Correct.
So, what inspired you to go into this?
Okay, so Sharad, the atmosphere that we grew up in has a deep impact on us, right? That's why, in our culture, sanskar and the home environment is given a lot of importance, right? For this reason only. So same thing happened with me. So my great grandfather, he was astrologer to the king of Jaipur, and he had written some 200 books in his lifetime. So as a child, I would see scholars coming to our house. There were discussions held on his work. Although as a child, it made no sense to me at all. There were seminars where my grandmother would pull me, come and attend, and I would go and attend, those seminars. But somewhere, it got registered in my back of my mind, right? But like you said, I completed my graduation, did my MBA, and started a corporate job, which was a very well paid and very glamorous job, in those times. So, and I was pretty happy doing what I was doing. But this astrology thing was always there at the back of the mind, but I had never imagined taking it up as a career, And as life had its own, ups and downs, so same thing happened with me. After my son was born, I had a lot of health issues and very serious and major health issues. And believe me, Sharad, when your body doesn't support you, that's the worst thing to happen.
Absolutely.
And that is what happened with me. So, physically, I was in a very, very bad mess, small child. That time, there was a financial struggle also happening. And that was all impacting in relationship issues also. So, whatever can go wrong in a person's life was going wrong in my life, be it emotionally, be it financially, and be it physically, And that was a crisis time for me, real low phase of my life. And I was pretty young. I was just 26 years of age. So, and then when you're in crisis, what do you look for? You want a kind of support which can change the situation overnight. And that is, that is how, even people perceive astrology to be as something which can fix up your problems. Well, it is not so, that we'll discuss. But then that is what even I thought, and then I started visiting astrologers. Anybody would suggest me, oh, wahan ek pandit ji, and I would run and go, wahan pe wo pandit ji, and I would,
वो डूबते को
again,
तिनके का सहारा है वाला
exactly.
situation.
And they would tell me stupid remedies to do. Yahan ye phek do, yahan ye gaad do, and I did all of that. I did all of that, and there was no solution. There was no respite. And there came a stage, after a few months, that I realized that me being an educated person, what am I doing? Why am I wasting my time and effort and energy on doing these stupid, baseless things? There was no logic, there was no reasoning. And because they were telling, and I was with this hope that this will fix up my problem, and which it was not. Right? And then I thought, why don't I get into the subject myself? Because those questions were really haunting, that why is this happening with me? Why so many things at
So
the same
basically,
time?
you got curious about it.
Absolutely. And then, there's an institute in Delhi called as Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. I went there, I enrolled myself there, I did a 2-year course, got a degree of Acharya. The studies, completing that course was like redoing my MBA, because it was a proper course with modules and semesters and exams and everything. And I did that. And then after that, it's now been 18 years that I've been part of many, many researches related to astrology. So that's been the academic journey.
So who was your first client? Was it you yourself?
My first client?
Yeah.
No, see, it started very organically. So, I never did it keeping the professional angle in mind. I did it for my own self. I wanted to know why things are happening with me the way they were happening. And when I got deep into the subject, then I slowly could understand, I could connect the dots, and I realized, oh, why certain things are happening, right? I started getting the answers, slowly started getting the answers. And then how it was like, they were friends, who said, oh, you're learning astrology, why don't you check our chart? Then it spread to family members. Okay, you're doing astrology, you check our chart. It was more like, doing it for family and friends. And then, like my predictions started coming true. Then that following started developing, then from friends, it went to their friends. From family, it went to other friends, So slowly the name started spreading. And that is how, I started getting into
When
it.
did you realize that you are actually good at this? So like for example, okay, family came in, friends came in. So there has to be a number. जब 100 लोगों का हो गया था, like a ballpark figure. Yeah, for example, when you did like maybe 30-40 readings, and then you realize कि यार, if not 10 more I get, then I am gonna be like very happy about it.
Okay, so there was no number game, to be very honest. What happened was, I was more focusing on the predictions that I was making and which were coming true, and which led people to come to me again and again. So that is when I realized, somebody's coming to me again and again. Why is that person coming to me again and again? Because somewhere my predictions were going right. So there was this particular case I remember. There was a friend's friend further, and way back she was not in India, she was in US, and she had a couple of miscarriages. And she had consulted a lot of astrologers, and they said that you will never be able to conceive. And even if you do, there'll be some problem with you or with the baby. And she was very petrified. And she just, like recommended by a friend, she showed me her chart. And I told her, I said, see, it's not like this. Don't worry. You will conceive, you will have a baby, and everything will be fine. And then, I told her what to do. I studied her chart, gave her the readings and everything. And fortunately, she conceived, and the pregnancy went smooth, and she delivered a healthy baby, and even she was fine. So she was so excited and elated. More than her, I was so excited and elated that something positive has happened and my prediction has come out absolutely true. So that was the time, maybe, when that confidence, my confidence within me, became better. That okay, now I can say with confidence that yes, my predictions are coming true. What I'm saying, my readings are accurate, rather, I would say, So that is, and then side by side, I'm still studying, I'm still doing researches. So that's very, very important for an astrologer, or for, as a matter of fact, any professional to, excel in their field.
So I have another question on this. At what point of time? So for example, you're doing a reading, let's say right now, and there's a gentleman, let's say that's me, and I'm asking you something, and you really found something negative in your reading.
Absolutely.
So you always have to be cautious, because in this line of work, what I have seen is, if you tell somebody negative, he'll just go find another one till he finds a positive.
Correct.
So do you actually mellow the negative readings down and inflate the positive readings so that you do not hurt the emotions of the person who's sitting in front? Or you just go straight up that, okay, this is what I think, this is what I have read, and this is what I understand?
So, okay, so Sharad, first thing that I follow always is honesty being truth,
Hmm.
following the truth part, the true part, right? So, whatever, and see, it's not that what I'm saying, it's what your chart is saying. I'm just interpreting it and telling you. Now, the chart will say good things also, chart will say bad things also. Yes, certainly it's a tricky situation when things are not pleasant. And why you go to an astrologer, you want to hear the pleasant things, you want a ray of hope from that person, and the person says nahi nahi kuch nahi hone wala, so obviously it's going to be demotivating. So yes, it depends on how you put it, right? Because see, I get people who say, if there's something bad, don't tell us, we'll not be able to handle it. Whereas there are people who say, if there is something bad, do tell us so that we are prepared. So now it depends on me, how do I tackle which category of people. But then yes, I do tell them the truth, whatever is the truth. But yes, I have to be cautious of the words that I'm using to tell them the truth.
Got it.
Yeah.
So now there is a lot of, I think, myths and at the same time common answers that
Yeah.
people drive down,
Yeah.
like especially when it comes to money and work and
Correct.
everything. And there's one term that we hear quite often, which is called the Raj Yog.
Yeah.
So it is like, भाई मेरा तो ये राजयोग चल रहा है,
Correct.
अच्छा ही होगा. And I see that guy doing absolutely nothing after that once he hears this.
Right.
So what is, like, do you think that if there is some sort of yog which is a
Yeah.
positive yog in
Yeah.
anybody's kundali,
Yeah.
that is just it, or there is
Yeah.
no substitute for good work?
Certainly there's no substitute for good work. Even for you to enjoy the benefits of Raj Yoga, you have to work hard. It's not that Raj Yoga, you have a Raj Yoga in a kundli, Raj Yoga will come to your house, press the bell, hello, there I am, you sit back, relax, I'll take care of everything. No, it doesn't happen this way. And as far as Raj Yoga is concerned, let me tell you one thing. There are more than 300 types of Raj Yogas which are mentioned in the classical texts of astrology. Right? The term Raj Yoga sounds very, gives you a very nice picture of Raj
it's
Yoga,
like,
means you are the king.
it's
You're,
like fakir se raja.
Exactly. Yeah,
हाँ.
that you are, blessed with all jewels and you are the king of something. No, it doesn't necessarily always mean so. Right? It is that, there are certain good combinations in your horoscope which will help you, achieve something in a little better way than compared to others who don't have the Raj Yoga, right? But it is not that if you have a Raj Yoga, it's a guarantee or it's a sure shot way to success in your life without putting in any efforts. No, it doesn't happen this way.
So how
Right.
many major yogas are there? Like Raj Yoga is there. I have
Yeah.
also heard of Gaj Kesari.
Yeah, Gaj
Buddha
Kesari is a
Dev
part
Yog.
of a Raj Yoga. Like Buddha-Aditya Yoga is there. There's something called as Vipreet Raj Yoga. Now, this Vipreet Raj Yoga is very interesting. Like the name suggests, Vipreet means the opposite. So people who have this Vipreet Raj Yoga, they do become successful. But then that success comes with some kind of a defamation, some kind of a major struggle, or some kind of a controversy is attached with the success. That's a kind of a negative publicity. So that is a Vipreet Raj Yoga. Right?
What happens with the Gaj Kesari Yoga you just mentioned?
Gaj Kesari Yoga is formed when Jupiter and Moon are together, conjunct or in Kendra from each other. And Gaj Kesari Yoga is a yoga we associate with wealth. Right? So person who's blessed with Gaj Kesari Yoga, it is said, the classical texts of astrology say that such a person will always be blessed with the comforts of life. Now, there's no definition to luxury. So when I say you are Gaj Kesari Yoga, you might say, oh, I have a BMW or a Mercedes. You might just have an Alto, right?
But you'll be comfortable in
But
your
you will
life.
be comfortable. So that is a Gaj Kesari Yoga. But I have seen a lot of Gaj Kesari Yogas also where the results have not been what one expects them to be. So, when we talk about astrology specifically, it's not just one yoga, one planet or one house which is giving you results. Like a lot of people come and say, I have exalted Venus, so the Venus Dasha will be very good. No. One has to see the whole chart in totality. The placements of all the planets in totality, they play a role.
So can you actually tell us an incident?
Yeah.
Wherein, so probably that person came to you कि मेरे में ये है but मेरा कुछ हो नहीं रहा है.
Yeah.
So what was happening with that guy and how did you tackle it?
So see, I have so many cases like this, where people come and say me, like majority of them do come and say this to me, that I was told that I have this yoga and, it is not, but look at me, I'm not doing, what I'm supposed to do. So see, yogas also have their extent to which they can give you results. Gaj Kesari Yoga also is how powerful it is, and that depends on the, on, as I said, the combinations and permutation, right? Like I had this chart where this lady had this wonderful Gaj Kesari Yoga, but then it was making a connection with Saturn and Mars together.
Hmm.
And Saturn was aspecting that from the 8th house. 8th house not a very good house. Rather, that's a very bad house in astrology, because that is the house which deals with death and with a lot of things which are not so pleasant to hear, right? So now this combination, this Gajkesari Yoga was there. If you show it to a astrologer, will say, oh, you have a Gajkesari Yoga. But that Gajkesari Yoga was not potent enough to give you results.
Hmm.
So there are two things, one having the yoga and one checking the potency of that yoga, that how strong that yoga and will it be giving you results. That also depends on the dasha. If you don't get the dasha of the planets involved in that yoga in this lifetime, then then having that yoga or not having that yoga is equally good or
Got
bad, depending.
So now, what is up with all the stones? So, like for
Oh, yes.
example, I am wearing a Pukhraj. It is supposed to strengthen my guru.
Yeah.
So I only know 50% of the gimmicks that I do.
Yeah.
But apart from that, like I have heard this quite a bit.
Yeah.
कि ये पत्थर पहन लो बढ़िया हो जाएगा.
How I wish.
And sometimes though it is like कि एक उंगली में
I know, I have seen.
माणक पहन लो, एक में पन्ना पहन लो, लेकिन इससे आपको ये होगा तो गले में चांदी लटका लो. So all of these stones, do they really work, or is
Okay.
just a marketing gimmick and just a jewels business basically?
Okay, so see, this is my favorite topic and I really love to talk about this. A lot of people might not like this answer that I'm giving, but then see, in the classical text of astrology, nowhere, Virad Parashar Hora Shastra, that's said to be the Bible of astrology. Rishi Parashar is the father of astrology, and he's written this book. There are 2 volumes of this, right? And any astrologer, anybody who pursues astrology has to study this, because every branch of astrology stems out of this. Nowhere has Rishi Parashar mentioned about remedies, These remedies and everything came much later, and these were added by astrologers who learned and who wanted quick fixes. Or I've seen, astrologers who get too much into remedies are people who have no knowledge or who have half-baked knowledge, right? Because then you don't want to get into the depth of the problem. So what do? You suggest a remedy, okay, ऐसे करोगे तो ऐसा हो जाएगा, जबकि ऐसा नहीं होता है, right? Now talking about stones, I personally don't believe in stones. Neither do I wear, neither do I recommend. Sharad, had stones only had the power to solve the problem, everybody would have been wearing stones and solve the problem, na? Tell me, does that happen? No, make a good wear, somebody who's not doing so well in life, and make him wear a stone, and see things changing for him. Does it happen? You can do it practically, right, and see the results, right? It doesn't happen this way. So like what you said, there is no shortcut for no substitute for hard work, or there are no quick fixes in astrology, to be very honest. So stones, I personally don't recommend. Neither do I think, or neither do I suggest that they can bring about changes in your life. So stop depending on them.
So now I also have a question.
Yeah.
There are different I won't say branches, but
Yeah.
different methods in which
Yeah.
people practice
Yeah.
astrology. One is the Indian system, the
Yeah. The
Kundli,
Vedic history. Yeah.
the Vedics. Then you also have tarot.
Yeah.
Then there are a couple of more that I have heard
Yeah.
of, like the international horoscope.
Yeah.
What you basically paper में आता है ना, ये पढ़ लो,
That is the
like
okay.
the
Okay.
one size
Okay.
fits all
Okay.
kind of
Okay.
thing कि
Okay.
Pisces है तो यही होना है, Aquarius
Okay.
है तो
Okay.
यही होना है,
Okay.
kind of.
Okay. Okay.
But our method, the Indian Vedic system, doesn't work like that.
Correct. Correct.
Everybody has their own thing. They might have a bit of traits.
Correct. Correct.
That is it. So, do you think that tarot and the international horoscope are as effective as the Indian Vedic one?
See, the mother of all occult sciences is Vedic Indian astrology,
Okay.
right? Tarot, it was never a part of our Indian culture, right? It came from outside. And you know what tarot exactly is? Tarot is basically a deck of cards which you can get anywhere in Archie's gallery or anywhere you can get it very easily. And it has certain symbols, right? And how it works is that when you visit a tarot card reader, you ask them a question, right? And they pull out a card. Now, based on the question and based on what the picture the card has, they would interpret it. So it works more on interpretation and more on intuition. Whereas with our Vedic astrology, Sharad, it is all calculation, it is mathematics, it is fully based on logic. When we were taught astrology, our guru said, when a person comes, you have the chart, he should not be asking you. From seeing the chart can tell that why this person has come to you, what is his problem, right?
Got it.
And it's like, I'll give an example. Twins born to the same parents, same time, same place, but still have different destinies. Now this question can come to anybody's mind, then why do they have, because our science is so advanced that even a difference of 30 seconds in your birth time can make a lot of difference. That's therefore in astrology, that's why time of birth is given so much of importance.
Yeah.
Right. And as far as the sun sign concept is concerned, which the Vedic astrology, which the Western astrologers follow, that is very generic. So say they follow, like, suppose you're a Libran, so people born from 25th September to 25th October, they're Librans, and this is what they will face. How is it possible? Millions of people might be of a same sun sign. Will everybody have the same situation, or everybody have the same behavioral trait? No.
So now to move on, like in the business side,
Yeah.
there are many people who watch out for the muhurat in the day to do something.
Yeah.
Like what I know is 11:30 या 12 बजे के आसपास
Abhijit
every day in the morning you have Abhijit Muhurat.
Yeah.
So उसमें कुछ भी रहे, everything is
Yeah.
negated for like 15-20 minutes. It's like
Yeah.
the best time of the day.
Yeah.
Then you have Kal Yog, Kal Ratri,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you have good, bad,
Yeah,
evil.
yeah.
So I was succumbed to that. Once I had to take a delivery of a car, and because of the muhurat I could not take it only. जब वो
Okay.
मुहूर्त सही था तो मैं खाली नहीं था,
हाँ,
जब
ये
मुहूर्त
है।
खराब था तो I was available
Yeah.
basically. So I don't know how much of an impact it does make.
Okay.
So like, is it important to start something good
Yeah.
in good muhurat? Because
Yeah.
this you can find online, right?
Absolutely.
It's quite easy.
Uh-huh.
मतलब Dip Panchang and all, I've
Yes,
seen those
yes,
websites.
yes.
So how important are these muhurats to do anything good
Yeah.
or to buy anything good during your
Yeah.
day
Yeah.
without consulting an expert?
Okay, so see, Muhurat do play a very important role in the Vedic science. Also, Muhurat Shastra is a complete different branch, a part of all of the Vedic astrology, but it's not little, rather it's purely technical, complex, but it's very interesting, And as per the scriptures, there are different time frames, which we call as Muhurat, allocated to different activities of life. Right? So like journey ke liye there's a muhurat, for starting of education there is a muhurat, but now with changing times one has to adapt these age-old principle, keeping the current time and scenario in mind. One thing, Sharad, I would like to tell the audience here, following astrology, which is a guiding science, is very good. But I get clients, who become too superstitious or who become too rigid with their following. Now, here is what goes wrong. Like I said, for education, there is a muhurat. But tell me, the session starts for, say, 100 kids in a particular month. All kids go to school at the same time and same, there's a common system. Now, is it possible for us to follow a muhurat then?
No,
It's not possible.
it's a
It will not be
timetable.
practical. Exactly. It's not practical. Same is with, other things also. It is only where you get a choice. Like you said, delivery of a car. If you get a choice, that acha, you can take the delivery this day. Yes, then following muhurat does makes sense. But yes, muhurat, but having said that, muhurat is very important, and it certainly tells you the right alignments of planets that particular day when you're beginning something, and that certainly gives you positive or good results. But that doesn't mean that if you're doing something when the muhurat is not very favorable, things will not go right. No, it doesn't mean that. It is just that this is a better time or little more favorable than the other time. So if you start something, things become more smooth for you in that journey.
So now another thing, you just mentioned that sometimes people हर चीज पंडित जी से पूछ के करना है.
Correct.
So I have actually encountered these situations with friends and family that मतलब पंडित जी ने कुछ बोल दिया, उसके कारण अब लाइफ डिस्टर्ब है.
Correct.
So like, how much do you think should be the reliance on an astrologer? Like, where should a person, and now I'm talking anti on that, like basically you would want your client to come to you again and again.
Correct.
But if, as you mentioned, you are transparent, you are true.
Yeah.
So what is the line that one should draw? कि इतना ज्ञान लेना है, इसके आगे negate करना है, so as to lead a healthy life. Because see, the more you dig, you will always find more goods and more bads.
Correct.
Right? And as you mentioned, it's readings, it's prediction. Nothing is set in stone.
Correct.
It is what you do will ultimately result into what is going to happen with you.
Exactly.
तो अब जैसे पंडित जी ने बोल दिया कि XYZ होना है, या आपका बेटा आपको निकाल देगा, या आपका डबल मार्केट चल रहा है, गाड़ी देख के रहना, तो अब वो घर से निकलना बंद हो गया. So how much should we rely on this,
Yeah.
and where should we take a pause and
Okay.
just live?
Yeah. Okay. So this is very important. Okay. One little point I want to clarify, like what you said, double markage. Now there's nothing like double. Even I have heard these terms like double manglik,
मतलब
double. So there's
yeah.
nothing like, a lot of people come to me. So I just wanted to clarify this point. There's nothing like double. There is only single. There's only
Hmm.
one, Mangal ek hi hota hai horoscope. It has to be manglik or no manglik. It can't be two, double manglik.
दो
Now
दो आता
same
है.
is the case with markesh, and markesh doesn't necessarily means death, It can also mean illness. It can also mean an accident where, where there's suffering happening to the body. So, it's not that, you're running a dasha of markesh means you're going to die only. So let's not take it this way, right? First thing. Now coming to your questions directly, that, how much should we depend on it? See, to be very honest, it's a guiding science. Take it as a guidance, right? Don't make it a, like you said, nothing is set in stone. So don't take it this way that astrologer has said something, so this is bound to happen. There is never 100% in anything in life. Be it, let's take example of medical science only. Say, for example, my father was a heart patient, my mother is diabetic. Now seeing the family history, doctor will say, oh, your chances of being a diabetic or a heart patient is
It's
more.
quite high, yeah.
But then I all of a sudden develop a problem of thyroid. Nobody in my family ever had it. So, so same thing applies to everybody, or even other branches of, what we are following. So one has to take it like a guiding science, not follow it like a thumb rule of your life. Oh, if this is written, if this is said, you have to follow it. Also, Sharad, whatever has to happen will happen. Nobody can change it.
Yeah,
An
100%.
astrologer can just tell you, he or she cannot change it or cannot fix it. So this is one thing that you have to keep it in mind. And the most important thing, like I said, nobody can change it, but you have the power to change your own destiny, not an astrologer or astrology as a subject. Right? You have the power. We humans have something called as free will,
Got it.
where I can change the situation or scenario that I am in today.
Now let's get into something which is more fun.
Yeah,
I
okay.
also know that you are also a Vastu consultant.
Absolutely.
Now, like as far as I am concerned, like Vastu science is more about how do you build your house or
Correct.
your workplace,
Yeah.
and astrology is more about you as a person.
Yeah, that's more individual. Yeah.
Very different.
Correct.
So why did you pursue both and not just one?
Okay, I in fact started with astrology, and I was very happy with astrology, with what I'm doing, because that, as I said, it's a mother of all occult sciences. Everything stems out from that. And astrology is not just a science, it's a super science. What astrology can tell you, nothing and nobody can tell you, right? So I was happily practicing astrology, and I was very happy. I'm still doing it. The satisfaction and happiness that I get from reading a chart and guiding somebody, that's immense, Then what happened, like I said, people started coming to me, started following me when my predictions started falling right. Then, there was a following of people who were very regular with me, coming to me regularly. So I remember there was a gentleman, he said, I'm buying a new house. Why don't you come and check? So I said, I don't do Vastu, I don't know. He said, no, you only have to come. So like this, a lot of cases started coming in where people, that faith developed. So they wanted me only to be a part of the Vastu thing also. Then I studied about Vastu, that what it is, how does it work. Then I realized Vastu and astrology are really connected, Vastu, astrology and numerology, Vastu, astrology and palmistry. They are a part of our Vedic sciences. Although I don't do palmistry, I am aware of, I do only astrology and Vastu. So then when I studied about the subject, then I realized, oh, it is very much connected to astrology. And then again, I did a 2-year course in Vastu, got a degree, and again, researches started happening in both the subjects. And that is how I got into it.
So like I have, like when we talk about Vastu, there is a marketing name, that Vastu compliant homes.
Yes, I know.
Right? So how, like I understand, as soon as you hear Vastu compliant home, you would want to buy that product first.
Correct.
So how do you think people should go about Vastu? Because every other guy who will come to your house, and this has actually happened with me, and they will always tell you कि यहाँ ये गलत बना दिया, यहाँ ये गलत बना दिया, यहाँ पे एक पानी का घड़ा रखो, यहाँ पे एक पुतला रखो, यहाँ पे weight बढ़ाओ 40 किलो.
Correct.
So do you think this actually makes sense?
Okay, so one thing I would like to tell you, the last point that you said is very, very important. Even I get queries where people will forward me reels of people saying, giving some gyan, and they say, see, this one is saying this, but you said like this, So please, firstly, don't follow the YouTube and Instagram in, university. And another thing, Sharad, here I would like to say, there's this, I literally had a kind of an argument with a client, and he said, no, this person said this on Instagram. I said, what is his or her level of knowledge? Have you inquired the background? Anything? He said, no, this person has so many followers on Instagram. So now this has become a very big thing, that if a particular person has, n number of followers, he's he's supposedly seen as somebody knowledgeable. Whereas, believe me, I know so many of them who have real big numbers on Instagram and YouTube, and their knowledge is zero. They have half-baked knowledge or no knowledge at all. It has become more a game of PR and visibility and all
It is
that.
like I get what you're talking about.
Right, so it is like what you said, that now see, please try and understand the basic of Vastu works on the principle of 5 elements: air, water, fire, earth and sky. What is a Vastu dosh? When there is an imbalance of any of these elements, it leads to Vastu dosh. Like in Ayurveda, you must have heard, or in yoga, you must have heard the term Kaph, Vata and Pitta.
Yeah.
Right, what is it? It is also the same thing: air, water, fire and earth. So anything in this planet, be it you, me, the plants, the animal, everything is made up of these 5 elements. So like, like Ayurveda says, whenever there's an imbalance of Kapha, Vata and Pitta, that is the root cause of any health issue that we have. Same way, in Vastu, whenever there is an imbalance of any of these elements in a structure, that is what is Vastu dosh. As simple as this. Keeping a putla or digging something and underground burying something is what is going to negate the Vastu dosh. No, it doesn't happen this way. Right? It is purely scientific. You have to simply balance the 5 elements, which can be done very organically, and your house becomes Vastu compliant. As simple as this.
No, I have also seen people, like especially industrialists, कि फैक्ट्री में एक नेल भी वास्तु से कंसल्ट करके लगाया जाएगा,
right,
and they have had good results.
Yeah, right.
So what are the, like, for not everybody can go to
Yeah,
vastu consultant,
yeah.
not everybody can afford them,
Correct.
at least when you're starting up.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
let's say that you're building a factory or
Yeah.
you're building a house.
yeah,
So let's take one thing at a time.
yeah.
So what are like 3 or 4 things they should keep in mind in terms of vastu,
Okay.
कि ये 3 चीज करनी है,
Hmm.
and couple of things that you should not do at all.
So see, again, with Vastu and astrology, these are very individual specific things. One, there are no, generic formulas, but then still the points I'm telling are, you can just broadly follow them. But if you're getting into, a new construction, I would always advise, go to a qualified, knowledgeable Vastu person or a knowledgeable astrologer. So first thing first, as I said, Vastu is all about the 5 elements: air, water, fire, earth and sky, right? So there has to be adequate balance of this, right? Now, how does this balance come? Again, you consult a Vastu consultant who will explain you. Second most important thing that Vastu scriptures say is the shape of the property. That's very important, right? That also doesn't happen always, and now in the days and times that we are living, it's very difficult to get a regular shaped plot. But then there are ways how you can, achieve that shape also. That is again another thing that is very important. Third thing that is very important, that the level of the property, the level of the land that on which you are building a property. I've seen, where the level is really high or low, so you have to level up the place and then construct. These points are very important. Rather than putting a statue or putting, some water body here and there, these basic things are more important than the other things. And other things follow, Then Vastu, as I said, see, is individual specific. Suppose you're making a factory. Now, what activity exactly is happening in that factory will determine a lot of Vastu things that one will be following or doing there.
Got it. So usually, whoever follows vastu,
Yeah.
I think vastu and in astrology,
Yeah.
there is no such thing कि बहुत हो गया. You will always find a new astrologer
Yeah.
to
True.
probably cross check
Correct.
or to probably get something else out of
Correct.
it.
Correct.
Similarly, in the vastu also, you will get a new vastu guy
Correct.
look at things,
Right.
and whenever the next guy comes in,
Yeah.
he will always tell you a problem,
Ah.
even if it's 100% vastu compliant with the
Correct.
first guy.
Correct.
So what is your take on this? Should we just stick to one person, or is it okay to get multiple opinions?
No, I would always advise, and that's what I advise to people, it's better you stick to one person. But then that one person needs to be knowledgeable. That is what you have to check. So how, a lot of people come to me and say that, we've been cheated, we have been befooled. So don't follow or don't go to somebody who's been telling you a lot of remedies or who's been telling you to do a lot of rituals and asking you for a lot of money for doing that, because nowhere in the text of Vastu or astrology has things like been mentioned. It's become more, as like you said, it's more marketing and more ways of minting money. So somebody who has that kind of intention, that means he's somewhere lacking knowledge. A knowledgeable person, who's following these sciences will not get into, remedies or rituals and asking you for large amount of money to do all this, right? Firstly. Secondly, like as I said, and it's very important that you follow one person. And also, like what you said, that people follow somebody and then somebody else comes in, and you start following that. There's a lot of
फिर पूरा
khichdi
पूरा खिचड़ी बन जाता
खिचड़ी
है,
बन
like
जाता है.
मतलब
I
then you are
completely
not doing anything right.
correct. I completely understand. A lot of cases, Sharad, I've seen that the faith of people who are following is more on the person rather than on the subject.
Got it.
Right? And that has both pros and cons, right? So like suppose you trust somebody and that person tells you something wrong, so you'll start believing that wrong because you're not cross checking, or you're not you're not yourself aware of the subject, and you're not reasoning out. Lot of people I see lack this reasoning, and as I said, this is a science. So you really need to reason that if you're telling me something, or if you're telling me vastu wise to do something, why? And believe me, there is a answer to all the whys. Whenever I do vastu, I tell them, if I'm doing something, why am I doing, and what is the reason and logic behind it, right?
Got it.
And that's very important.
Got it. So we have had a long conversation, and I think we have dug in deep with both astrology and vastu.
Yeah.
And I think what I have learned, the main thing is that follow one person
Correct.
who you trust, who you
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
I would like to add on to that, find good references.
Yeah.
Like if you can find good references, that
Yeah.
credibility can be built up,
Correct.
and the references are not
Yeah.
online. It
So
has
for
to
that,
be a
knowledge
person
plays a very important role. Again, I'm
Yeah.
saying go to somebody who is knowledgeable.
knowledgeable.
Yeah.
So now, just to lighten the mood, I have a few rapid fire questions.
Yeah.
You are supposed to answer these within a sentence.
Okay.
Let's not
I'll
go
try.
too overboard.
Yeah.
So the first one myth you want to erase today about astrology as a whole.
Okay. As a whole, astrology cannot change destiny, but it can certainly change decisions.
One remedy that actually works to help people.
Positive mind frame.
One remedy which everybody overhypes.
Stones, like you said.
Most surprising case study about any big personality.
So there are a lot of them, and there are a lot of them related to different fields and aspects of life. And here I would like to, get, I mean, if I'm allowed to speak a little, yeah. So like a lot of people idolize famous personalities, that they're successful, or they're moneyed, and we link certain things, that money, success, fame is what brings happiness. Believe me, no, it doesn't.
Okay. So
Yeah.
one vastu correction or something in one vastu thing
Yeah.
that everybody should look for or do in their office.
Okay, so this is very important. Don't clutter your home or your office.
Keep it open.
Keep it open, keep it organized. There should be natural light and air, which is very, very important.
Light becomes difficult at times.
Well, if
Air,
you try,
you can work on it.
yeah, light, I certainly agree, but if you try, you can. There are a lot of ways, and now with the way the construction industry is changing, they're really finding ways and sources of how one can get natural light in.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, if not astrology or vastu, what career would you choose?
Okay, so like I started with the corporate life, so maybe when even I think about this question, maybe I would have also been with the corporate sector.
Okay. So thank you so much, Riddhi. We have had a long conversation. I believe that we can go on and on about
I
the
know.
technicalities and the details and the science.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned that vastu is nothing but the elements.
Yeah.
And what you are doing inside, like if it's a factory, that will really define the vastu rather than being a generic.
Correct.
कि north में ये करना है, east में ये करना है.
Absolutely.
It totally depends on an individual and what they want in life and what
Correct.
they are doing and the kind of problems they are facing, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that sums it up as a very holistic and individual approach,
Yeah.
rather than a one size fits all approach.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thank you so much for bringing that forward. Thank you everyone for listening in. Stay tuned for more.